A lot of local shows, what you get is you get a club they've got a stage and an OKPA, and they want to cram as many people in there as possible. So they book as many bands as possible for one night, and trying to get them to just bring in people, and then you get 15-minute set changeover. A sound guy that should barely be considered a sound guy and doesn't really care. He's not passionate about it. He's just going through the motions, and sometimes a poor lighting setup, and even if it is, it's not very. It's static, or it's not very in time with your music because they don't know your music. It's not produced to any extent. And I think people, when you go to that show, especially if you don't go to concerts a lot, if you go see that versus you go see U2, it's like it doesn't even compare. You can see why it's harder to get people, hey, come to this bar and drink their overpriced rum and cokes while we play, and it doesn't sound great, and there's not as much going on, visually. And not that you even have to take everything to the U2 extent, but in Arizona, a lot of clubs just don't take the sound thing very seriously. Where there's some, like some of the famous clubs like on the Strip in LA, just still take the sound a lot more seriously. They have better systems, better professionals, kind of they do sound checks with the bands before the club opens. You know what I mean? Just to kind of present a better experience for people.
And to me, it's movies aren't the same without the soundtrack, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, a concert is not the same without the lighting.
Right.
It all plays together, it all balances each other out, and I really feel that if the clubs invested a little more time and money into making the production a little more professional.
Right, good songs, and they get that part down, and then business people come in, and business people who know very little about music come in and screw it all up, and that's where you get a lot of the disposable music. So if you understand the business game better and don't sign the really bad record deals and get that kind of creative freedom, I think that's where you get a lot of the good artists today. Like Tool took a lot less money for their initial record deal, but got full creative control, and are generally regarded as a band that's very creative, very innovative, doesn't sound like everybody else. And I think that's the kind of business sense an artist needs to have. Not that you need to sit there and think about how can I write a song to make more money today? Not that anybody approaches it that way, I don't think, but you just need to you need to understand how to handle that end of it so that you can write the kind of music that you're.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying. If you writing a song, there's nothing wrong with thinking, okay, what's going to make this song worth more?
Mm-hmm.
Or when I write music, yeah, I mean, the music that sells is the music that people remember, that's catchy. So there's an actual art to songwriting.
Cool if GarageBand or Rock Band opened up the format a bit.
Yeah.
So that would be really slick.
There's been talk of because you can create custom songs on them, and there's been talk of them wanting to look for new artists that way.
Well, I heard that didn't Opiate for the Masses get a song on was it Guitar Hero 2 or something like that, or Rock Band 2?
Yeah, man.
No, I mean I saw something like a email blast or something. So I mean, if they did that, then that's cool.
Because they were a very smaller band.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
Video games in general, a big outlet for music, over the last few years, it has been video games, just video game soundtracks, like Grand Theft Auto has, all the different radio stations, and they have a lot of indie bands on that, and most video game companies usually are more receptive to independent artists if they can give them quality material than, say, a record label. So there's a lot of indie bands that have gotten, breaks from other video games. Not Rock Band and all those, but just video games in general. So I would think that, eventually those same companies that are doing Rock Band and GarageBand or Guitar Hero or whatever it is, would be, at least somewhat receptive to it.
Yeah, it was like when I had remember the old game system, the Panasonic 3DO? Remember that?
Way back.
That's going way back. And I had this motorcycle game, and they would play rock music, and I did, this was back when I was 13 or something, and that was the first time where I first discovered new music from a video game. And I actually went to the point where I would hook my 3DO up to my my tape deck and record the song from the video game.